Good afternoon and good evening, and welcome back. Thanks for clicking on this Far Beyond message. The purpose of Far Beyond is to help you go far beyond just a, standard relationship with God. It's here to help you discover your calling, your purpose, your gifts, and your talents, and to really kind of find out why God made you. But it's also here to strengthen your walk in various ways. So I hope you find that here. So let's begin for today. Today, we're going to do some of that strengthening of our walk. We're going to talk about the biblical friendships that we need in our lives. There's about 5 kinds of friends, and we can't talk about all of those, but you have acquaintances. Those are people that you're friendly with, but you're just acquainted with, You've got your friends, and those are probably coworkers and some of those people that know a little bit more about you. But then you've got good friends. That's where you begin to know each other personally and maybe eat at each other's houses and things like that. But then you've got close friends. Those are people that pray with you and they're good for you. They build you up. And then, of course, occasionally we get the blessing of having a best friend. And so we'll talk about good, close, and best here today a little bit, because we want to talk about what contributes to a friendship, what increases us, builds us up, and builds them up as well. And because there's so many barriers to friendship these days, like the electronic social media styled barriers that are out there, they are hurting us, and they're hurting the building of good friendships. Now they do reconnect people, but then they're not building our friendship like we can face to face, one-on-one, things like that. So we'll start off today with differentiation. Number 1 is differentiation, and what I mean by that, let me put up Proverbs 18:24 for you. A man with many friends, the one translation says, will come to ruin, may be harmed. But there's a friend who stays or sticks closer than a brother, closer than a sibling. This is the person. We have to be selective, because we can't have, we can have too many close friends. Let's just be honest. We're going to talk in a minute about what you have to give up to have a close or best friend, and you can't do that with a ton of people. Differentiation. We got to differentiate between the types of friends, and so look at Proverbs 13:20. He who walks with the wise will become wise, but the companion of fools will become destroyed. So our differentiation, our selection of a friend is extremely important. Somewhere in Proverbs 22 it says, don't be given in friendship to someone who's an angry person, or you'll learn his ways, things like that. And so we've got to be careful about who, and differentiate between good and bad friends who are good for us or lead us into the wrong direction. So number 1 is differentiation. Number 2 is proximity or accessibility. It's important that a friend is close. I had a very good, probably a best friend, one of the better ones of my life, moved 5 states away, and we still remain close friends, good friends and close friends. We know so much about each other, but it has really hindered our best status. And so it's important for us to realize that we need someone who's here, someone that's close, someone that can come help. So it says in Proverbs 27:10, it says, never abandon a friend, either yours or your father's, when disaster strikes. You won't have to ask your brother for assistance. It's better to go to a neighbor than to a brother who lives far away. So it'd be better to just have a neighbor than a brother who lives far away. So it's important that we have accessibility with our friends, but not too much. Let's look at Proverbs 25:17. This is a good one. Proverbs 25:17 says, "Let your foot rarely be in your friend's house or your neighbor's house, or he will become weary of you and hate you." Benjamin Franklin is quoted as saying that guests are like fish that after 3 days they stink. So don't wear out your welcome. That's important for us to remember. Okay, so we also got to remember number 4. Okay, so just a quick recap. Differentiation's number 1. Accessibility's number 2. Healthy boundaries is number 3. And then a two-way street. Friends that are capable of a two-way street. So let's look at Proverbs 27:9, because we want a friend that enhances us and makes us better. 27:9 says, "Perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of one's friend springs from his earnest counsel." It's important for that person to be able to counsel us, and we respect them enough that they can speak to us in a manner sometimes that we need to be spoken to. Don't you think? Look at Proverbs 27:17. It says that a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Well, that's so true. There's all kinds of great things that happen when a friend can challenge you, and he can balance your weakness with his strength, or her character with your lack of, or be able to talk to you in a manner that you need to be talked to, but with, of course, respect and tact and diplomacy, things like that. But it's so important. So number 4, a two-way street. It needs to be a two-way street. Number 5, they need to be able to hold you in high regard, and you hold them in high regard. Look at Proverbs 11:12. 11:12, and then let's add 13. "It is foolish to belittle one's neighbor or one's friend. A sensible person keeps quiet." Now here's the important part. A gossip goes around telling secrets, but those who are trustworthy can keep a confidence. The reason that you need a friend of high regard, one that you really hold in a respectful position, is because if that person is doing what they're supposed to be doing, then you are confessing things to them, y'all are praying together, and they're focusing you towards the right path, not revenge or anger or hatred, things like that. So a friend of high regard is very important. All right, so number 5 was high regard. Number 6 is open and honest. And that just goes right along with high regard. You respect them enough to hear their open and honest, with tact, with diplomacy, friendship. Look at Proverbs 27:5 and 6. It says, "Open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful." It's okay if your friend wounds you. If you hold them in number 5, high regard, and you have number 6, open and honest, with tact and diplomacy conversation, then you're going to be able to move forward and grow from the friendship instead of having it be something that hurts you. Okay, so number 7, quick to forgive. Quick to forgive. This is important. Proverbs 17:9 speaks of a quick to forgive type friend. It says, "Love prospers when a fault is forgiven, but dwelling on it separates close friends." So it's important that this person will hear you out and is quick to forgive. And, sometimes speaking positively is taken as an attack. And we need to be able to go and say, look, I didn't mean it like that. I was trying to help. Because true friendship is far too valuable to throw away over some little argument or some problem. Okay, so number 8 is faithfulness. Faithfulness. This is great. And the purpose of faithfulness is, like Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. It's important for us to realize the relationship is about being good for each other. But look at Proverbs 17:17. It says, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. So there are 5 levels of friendship, and but to have these higher levels, the close friend, the best friend, it's going to cost you something. And I need to make sure we realize that it costs you our personal convenience. It is inconvenient sometimes to be there for your friend. And we just have to step out and do it. Number one, it causes you inconvenience. Number 2, it costs you time. There's times when they need you and you've got to go. Number 3, it costs you transparency. There's times where, in order to be good friends, you need to be transparent. And that's part of it. You need to be open and honest, intimate. You need to let people know about you and where you are. Number 4, it costs us comfort. It's inconvenient, and it costs us time, and it costs us intimacy and transparency, and it costs comfort. Sacred things like this, have a cost to them. And then lastly, it must cost us prayer. It must cost us prayer. Because if we're going to build each other up, that's what it takes. So I hope today that this little trip through biblical friendship helped you, and I hope that you have close and good and best friends. I truly do. And if not, I hope this will help you as you grow the friendships you have into these deeper levels. Anyway, God bless you and have a wonderful day. I hope this led you a little bit further beyond where you were before you started.